Ladies and gentlemen, this is the WBC Asian Middleweight Championship title. A competition fought over 10 by 3-minute rounds with a weight limit of 72.5 kilos. Today he weighed in at 72.5. He stands 171 centimeters in height, 41 years of age. He hails from Jayapura in Indonesia. He's trained there at a Ferdinand's boxing gym. 33 fights, 16 wins, 15 losses, 2 draws, 13 wins of way of KO. He is known as G-Train, AP Geisler, in the red, blue, green. His opponent this evening, fighting out of the red corner in the WBC Asian Middleweight Championship. He weighed at 71.9 kilos, 180 centimeters in height, 36 years of age. He is the pride of Salerno in Campania in Italy. He's trained locally at FCC Fight Gym with a fight record, 26 fights, 16 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws, 7 wins by way of KO. They know him as the Italian Trouble, Dario Socci. This is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council under the supervision of General Damron Simakanjun Boon. Your referee is Ratchakon Mr. Darapon. Your judges Tharawat Plimarasan, Mr. Fanu Kasaluwong, Mr. Pongpan Ratasanton. Your timekeeper is Mr. Wishan Thongbai. Your doctors Jurisak Bubakat and Wakandis Rightum. This is competition time and title time.
Here we are. Here we Okay, folks, we are here for a WBC Asia Silver Middleweight title fight. Italy taking on Indonesia. Dario Socci from Italy in the maroon trunks takes on Geisler AP from Indonesia in the luminous green trunks. We are scheduled for 8 rounds. So both fighters meet in the center of the ring. Big right hand upstairs already landed for Geisler AP. Geisler starting off very strong with that big shot upstairs. So here we are for the first round. Sorry for that slight blip in the technology there. We are back into the action. So Dario already felt the power of Geisler AP. So Dario's just got to be very careful to stay away from that right hand. I mean, he's got to be circling to the right side for himself and stay away from that right hand of Geisler. You don't want to walk into a shot. The shots you walk into tend to connect even harder. So Dario's definitely got a difficult fight in front of him after eating such a big right hand in the first 15 seconds of round number 1. Both fighters holding central ring right now. Neither fighter want to engage. A fencing match going on right now. Big clubbing swings here by Geisler AP. So Geisler doesn't necessarily throw a traditional boxing hook. He just seems to be swinging for the fences, hoping to end the fight as soon as he possibly can. If Dario can just stay on that back foot, keep that jab pumping out, and wait for the right hand or the check left hook, he'll be absolutely fine against someone who charges towards you with big hooks. Geisler's style is to put you away with these big hooks as early as he can. Big hooks to the body. Dario seems to be wearing it well. But those shots over time definitely get through and take away your gas tank. Dario now with a jab, exactly what he needs to do. Double jab with the right hand. Both fighters holding central ring once again. You can see Geisler just loading up these hooks. Is he going to go downstairs? Is he going to go upstairs? Great job there by Dario to just nullify the action. Clinch up as soon as you can. Don't let your opponent, who likes to sing wild hooks, have any range or any movement to do so. Nice check hook on the inside. Exactly the counter that Dario needs to throw. And Dario just smiles whilst taking those big shots on the gloves. Even if the shot doesn't land clean, you can feel the vibrations hitting your gloves and your arms. Final moments of round number 1. And you can see every time Geisler sets his feet, he starts to just bob and weave, and then he starts delivering these huge hooks. Dario now trying to just mesmerize his opponent with that jab in front. End of round number 1. So we had a slight issue with the technology in the opening rounds, but hopefully you didn't miss anything. There was that moment where Geisler just started coming forward with huge shots downstairs. It wasn't landing clean, but it was enough to get the attention of Dario, because even the shots that don't land clean, if they hit your gloves, they hit your arms, all you have to do is feel the power on your arms. Here we are for the second round for this WBC Asia silver middleweight title fight. Dario Socci from Italy in the maroon shorts takes on Indonesians Geisler AP in the luminous green and black shorts. Round 2 scheduled for 8 total. Both fighters in the center of the ring. Notice how both fighters stand very close to each other, yet neither were engaging. But then you see Geisler just starting to throw these huge hooks upstairs once again. And all it takes is one of those shots to get through clean, and then you've got to see how well can Dario weather the storm, because against fighters like Geisler, it's all about weathering the storm. Can you weather that storm? Can you steer your ship through the stormy seas? Once you can do that, once you realize that you can weather it, you can start to put your combinations together. At the moment, Geisler just looks like he's landing these big, heavy shots, but it doesn't last long. It's very rare fighters can last with this type of style throughout an entire fight. So it's being able to understand that you haven't got long to wait. You've just got to wait until he stops throwing them, and then you start piecing your combinations together with the jabs. And this is where Dario just needs to establish a jab as well. Start stiffing that jab right down that middle. Keeping the jab out. Great left hook to the body there. A beautifully timed left hook to the body by Dario. And all you're waiting for is that moment where Geisler runs out of his energy or mistimes a hook and the momentum takes him forward. That's when Dario needs to counter. Back into the action they go. Halfway through round number 2 already. Big left hook downstairs. Big left hook downstairs once again. And these shots sound like they're hurting more than they are. A lot of the time it's a slapping leather sound that just echoes. I'm not saying they're not hurting. I'm just saying they sound more dreadful than they actually are. A conditioned boxer can usually take those type of shots a lot easier than you think. It's the ones that really dig in, the ones that don't make much sound, which tend to hurt a little bit more. Nice jab with the right hand there by Dario. Swing and a miss there by Geisler. Level change by both of these fighters. Right hand upstairs. And you can see it happening right now. Dario's starting to put his pieces together. He's already weathered a lot of the hooks that Geisler could give him. And once you can get through that, as long as you don't allow yourself to get too afraid of the shots, you can start to put your combinations together. You've got to believe in the jab and the right hand. Clinch for both of these fighters. Final moments of round number 2. Good jab for jab action. End of round number 2. We're going into a third. So let's see some of these action replays. This is where Dario landed that great left hook to the body, slipped it, and then went downstairs. But Geisler returned with one right back of his own. So definitely a battle of the body snatchers in this fight so far.
Heartbeat synchronized, it's a blast. Electric fever.
Italy takes on Indonesia for this WBC Asia
Round
Silver
3.
Middleweight title fight. Thank you everyone for being here for the first event of the new year. Happy New Year and 2025 to you. Big shots being landed already. Dario in the maroon, Geisler in the luminous green and black. Big hooks being downstairs. And if you look at Geisler, he throws his hooks to the body like a very old school boxer, like the 60s and 70s style. They used to just wing these shots in to the body. A very famous boxer known by Bazooka Limon would just do this. He would just go downstairs with these huge hooks to the body. He didn't try and outbox you. He tried to outfight you and hook you to the body. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Old school hooks to the body. Anything it takes to take away the gas tank of your opponent. Good head movement as well. I'd like to see Dario be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more active with those jabs as well. Good left hook downstairs by Dario. Both fighters exchanging hooks in the pocket right now. Big left hook upstairs there by Geisler. Right hook upstairs landed. Swing and a miss. Big right hand upstairs. And these shots are getting through, and Geisler was told by his corner he needs to start throwing the left hook with the right hand. Left hook to the body, and then sledgehammer that right hand upstairs. So it looks like he's trying it. And this is what we were talking about earlier. How long can Geisler keep this type of pace up? How long can he keep winging these shots in? Every time he throws these shots, every time they miss, he's getting more and more tired. And all Dario needs to do is weather this storm, wait for the moment, and then just counter his opponent. Big left hook upstairs into an uppercut downstairs. 1-2 there by Dario, but Dario just seems like he's either just waiting, trying to get Geisler to get a little bit tired, and then start to come alive with some of these big shots. A very classic move. Let your opponent wear themselves out and then start coming alive with combinations. Great right hand upstairs by Dario. Left hook upstairs by Geisler, followed up by a right hand as well. Both fighters in the center of the ring once again. And both fighters looking almost exhausted, but I think Dario has the more energy of the two. I think this is what Dario was waiting for. He was waiting for Geisler to punch himself out, so to speak. And this is where Dario should really come alive. Believe in his combinations. Push forward. Double the jab. Triple the jab. Go downstairs. Don't rely on single punch combinations. Really push the pace in situations like this. Geisler right now is doing everything he can to avoid Dario coming forward. He's using all the moves in the book. Feints, dancing on the back foot, pretending like he wants to engage when he doesn't. Geisler is using all the veteran moves to keep Dario away from him. Here we see some of these action replays. There's not much going on in that action replay. It was one of those moments where every time, great left hook to the body, followed up by an uppercut upstairs as well. Definitely the move Geisler wants to use. I mean, this is a hard fight for judges because you've got someone like Geisler who's very aggressive, very active, trying to take the fight to Dario. So Dario taking a lot of the shots on the arms, on the gloves, and then landing some straight punches down the middle. If I know how Thai judges like to score, they go for the aggressor and the forward fighter. And here we are back for the next round.
Round 4.
Halfway through this title fight already. Dario in the maroon shorts. Geisler in the luminous green with the black trim. Big left hand upstairs landed by Geisler. Jabs by Dario. Both fighters need to be a little bit more active here. Dario looks like he's just waiting for Geisler to come forward. Double jab with the uppercut there landed. Geisler lands that uppercut through the guard of Dario. And I think this is why Dario is just slightly hesitant to come forward. He knows Geisler's got power. He knows he's winging these shots, and he's willing to take big risks to try and take Dario's head off. So Dario's definitely got to be careful here. he doesn't overstep his mark. With that being said, Dario could be stepping around with the jab. Jab and move to the left. Jab and move to the left, and then crack down the middle with the right hand. You've got to set up your right hand. There it is. That's where Dario needs to be. Stepping around his opponent with the jabs and then throwing the right hand in the process. Geisler now is just moving on the outside, doing everything he can to avoid any engagement, I think. I think he's trying to get his energy back before he starts sending these big looping hooks upstairs. I think Dario is still hesitant to try and engage here. I think if Dario just put his foot on the pedal and tries to just take the fight to him in a situation like that, he knows Geisler isn't going to be throwing a big looping shot straight after the next one. It's almost like lightning doesn't strike twice. In a situation like that, Geisler is using all of his energy in one of these shots. As soon as he misses, you need to step it up and just push the pace on him, because he hasn't got much left in the tank after he throws one of those big shots and misses. And the interesting thing about boxing is missing shots is more tiring than actually hitting your opponent. Both fighters central ring, less than a minute to go of this title fight. And again, thank you everyone for being here for the FCC Fight Club Championship live in Pattaya, Thailand. Great uppercut, gets on the inside there. And Geisler, to me, just looks like he's a little bit tired. Look like he's trying to weather the storm of Dario now. This is where Dario should just really be picking up the pace. Dario needs to believe in his temper, push forward, and start putting the combinations together. Final 10 seconds of round number 4. And you can see the fence right there. Geisler just trying to get every bit of energy back. You can see the action replays. The big swing upstairs missed. Dario stepped forward with a nice 1-2 in this situation. Big right hand upstairs, just missing the target. So we need more activity from both these fighters. This is a title fight. You always expect more activity. I do believe Dario Socci could just step up the pace here.
Crowd roaring loud, feel the energy buzz. Body to body in a world where pain's a must. Fist to the face, taking no shame. Here's the rule.
After round 4, red 37, blue 39. To be 37-39, 37-39 after round 4.
So round number 5, we've had some live scoring there. We will try and get a copy of that live scoring if we can. But like I said, very interesting to get the live scoring of this round and this fight so far. So we do have Italy taking on Indonesia. Both fighters holding central ring at the moment. And you can tell that both fighters are quite hesitant. I think Dario has the better fitness level at this point. He looks less tired. Great 1-2 there landed. And straight to the body. Geisler doing exactly what he needs to do, just holding on as much as he possibly can. But I think Dario now should really just be putting the pedal to the metal. Even if you don't finish your opponent in this round, you could maybe tire him out just enough for that next round to finish him off. You've got to set the story. You've got to set the stage here. And you can see that Geisler walking towards the referee, walking behind him, trying to create as much movement and space between his opponent as he possibly can. Good sign that Geisler just is looking tired. Dario should be reading this, be putting on the pressure. You don't need to be landing punches to wear out your opponent. You can use a lot of feints. You can use a lot of footwork. Tire your opponent out in the 5th round and then really come alive in this 6th round. Jab for jab action for both of these fighters so far. Dario with a nice 1-2 there, landed. Big 1-2 upstairs. Geisler's definitely feeling some of the pace right now. You can see him falling onto his opponent. I'd like to see Dario just start tearing it up now in the clinch. Rather than allowing Geisler to just clinch him, just start throwing punches and bunches as much as you possibly can. Big 1-2 there, upstairs landed. This is where Dario just needs to come alive, do whatever he can. Final 30 seconds of round number 5. Big left hand upstairs. Another left hand upstairs. Right hand misses the target. 1-2 upstairs, followed up by a body shot. And you can see these left hands and right hands starting to get through for Dario. And he doesn't need to be putting too much behind him. If your opponent is tired, these shots are going to hurt even more. Fatigue makes cowards of us all, and a fatigued opponent will feel these shots even harder. You see the final moments of that round. This is where Dario had a really good moment, where he was landing some very good combinations, going upstairs and downstairs. It doesn't feel like Dario puts too much behind these shots, but he doesn't need to now. All he has to do is keep the work rate high, keep pumping those shots out, and he should secure the victory. So here we are. Final 2 rounds for this WBC Asia Silver Middleweight title fight. Dario Socci from Italy in the maroon. Geisler AP from Indonesia in the luminous green and black trim. And we can see Geisler is really up and close to Dario now. Usually a good sign of trying to be as close as you can to your opponent to make it look like you're trying to do something. But this is where Dario could just really start throwing punches and bunches, really wear out Geisler. I feel like he should have stepped on the pedal in that last round. He should have really took the fight to him, really try and fatigue his opponent. Great left hook downstairs there by Dario. Great hooks being landed by Geisler. Both fighters holding central ring right now. Big hooks being landed upstairs. Right uppercut landed by Dario. Left hook downstairs by Dario. Dario starting to put these great combinations together. Geisler with a great combination downstairs and upstairs. And this is the interesting thing about Geisler. He's so experienced. He knows all the tricks in the book. He knows how to survive. He knows how to last if he wants to. Dario starting to put these right hands together. It looks like he knocked Geisler back. Geisler throws a lead left hook as well. A right hook upstairs by Geisler. Left hook and a right. And whatever you say about Geisler, he still looks like he's in this fight. He still looks like someone who could still put somebody away. Dario could just walk towards him with a high guard and just start putting these pieces together. I believe Dario knows what he has to do to win. It's just, is he willing to do it? Jab with the right hand upstairs. You can hear the crowd and the corner of Geisler going absolutely wild. Great left hook to the right hook there by Dario. Dario, to me, looks like he knows he's moments away from maybe winning this fight. Good jab. Knocks the head back of Geisler. And I think Geisler, a beautiful right hand. But I think Geisler knows he's got a Hail Mary shot right now. He's got to land something spectacular. And this is where Dario looks more pepper in his step. He is just moving forward. He is now starting to tee off on his opponent. And this is where Dario needs to be. Calculated aggression. landing the combinations whilst you can, being very aware of the hooks of Geisler. Geisler now grabbing onto his opponent. The referee could call him up on that one. Final 10 seconds of round number 6. The final moments is becoming a slugfest for both these fighters, and that is the end of round number 6. Looks like we're going into a 7th and a possible 8th. And there was a crisp right hand. One of the best punches I think Dario has landed this entire fight. Right down the middle, perfectly placed, perfectly timed. And the great thing about Dario is he went straight back in defensive. He didn't stand and admire his shot. He went back into his stance. Great stuff by Dario.
Till the end, hands in the air, shout loud and clear. Tonight's the night, leave all your fear. He's alive, no need to rest. Dancing gives life, forget the stress.
Here we go, back into the action. Jab of the right hand upstairs. And you can see here, Dario starting to push the pace, exactly what I think he needs to do. When you're in a title fight, you've got to prove that you're winning it by a mile. You've got to really not make these fights close. And that's what Dario needs to do right now. Just keep pushing forward. Keep securing these rounds. Great right hand downstairs there by Dario. And Geisler, to me, we know what he's capable of. We know what he's going for. We know he wants to swing a looping hook upstairs to try and win this fight. But I think Dario just knows exactly what Geisler's going to be doing at this point. I think he's read it perfectly, that he just needs to weather these hooks. Big right hand upstairs by Dario once again. And Dario just really putting these pieces together now. Geisler looks absolutely exhausted. We know Geisler is tired. We know this is going to last a little bit longer than it needs to. When somebody is tired, it tends to be a situation of trying to milk it for as long as you can. We know what these situations are like. We know Geisler is tired. He's trying to do everything he can to survive these rounds. And I think this is what Dario just needs to do. Just keep pushing forward. Try and get a finish here. Really try and take this title away. Really put on a performance here. Don't give Geisler any chance to recover. And there we see him once again grabbing his opponent. There's a difference with clinching than grabbing, and Geisler is grabbing, which is something that the referee can call him up on. And the referee looks like he might be telling him now. Like I said, there's clinching and then there's grabbing, and Geisler is just grabbing. You can't grab to just really prevent the action like that. It's almost like a push situation, and the referee here might be doing something about it. Even taking a point at this point wouldn't really do anything. Dario starting to come alive now with these combinations. Dario just trying to keep Geisler away from him. Geisler just only trying to grab. And it looks like Geisler isn't doing anything to try and fight. He's trying to get his breath back. I think he wants to try and last until the 8th round. And in that 8th round, Geisler's just going to have to go for a knockout. He has to do something spectacular here. To me, that referee might be looking at this as like, what is Geisler doing right now? Is he trying to win, or is he just trying to last? Clubbing right hand once again. Geisler grabs onto Dario, and we're going into an 8th and final round. Here we see the action replay. There's a beautiful double jab to right hand by Dario. Went upstairs and downstairs. Really just teeing off on Geisler at this point. And this final round will be the real test. Can Dario avoid the hook? And Geisler get something through?
set free. This is the place where you wanna be. Life flash colors seen in a dream. Join the rhythm, become the theme.
Round 8.
Eighth and final round, but we've got an issue with the shoe of Geisler AP. Very common with boxing shoes as well. You'll often see that fighters have tape around their feet is because the soles always seem to fall off.
Eighth and final round.
Lots of dragging of the feet. The soles tend to come out. But here we are, folks, the final round of the WBC Asia Silver Middleweight title fight. Geisler AP from Indonesia in the luminous green and black takes on Dario Socci from Italy in the maroon shorts. Eighth and final round. It is really a case of who wants it more now. Has this extra time been enough for Geisler to get some energy back? Is he able to do anything different? And that's what I like to see from Dario, fighting inside the clinch as well, actually doing something here. Big right hand, clubbing right hand, in fact, by Dario. Clean right hands being landed again by Dario. To me, this is exactly what Dario should have been doing earlier as well. I think he has the ability and the fitness level to really push the pace against Geisler. Doubling the jab of the right hand as well. Dario now pushes forward. Geisler still dangerous with these hooks. And that's the thing in boxing. You're always one punch away from the fight being ended. Geisler doing everything he can to get a breather. Watch how he walks behind the referee. Look how he turns his back. He is doing everything he can to just keep his energy high, but it's just not enough. Final 2 minutes of the final round. And to me, a situation like this, Dario should feel confident and comfortable that he is now going to be taking home this title. Unless something absolutely crazy happens, I think we will be seeing Dario holding up that belt. The referee constantly giving a warning about grabbing. And I think if this was a longer fight or a closer fight, I do believe the referee would even take a point from Geisler at this point for grabbing so often. But at a point like this, there's no point. Look, Geisler turning his back. Doesn't want any of this now from Dario, but he doesn't want to give up either. He wants to stay in this fight, but he does not want to continue. It's one of those interesting things for fighters where you sometimes have to give up for them. Clubbing left hook upstairs by Geisler. Still firing back, still grabbing onto his opponent. Final minute of round number 8. Dario now pushing the pace here. Misses with a hook upstairs. Geisler returns with a hook of his own. And I think the referee might be taking a point here finally. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I think you need to do. You can't keep grabbing your opponent. You can't keep holding on to your opponent like that. Spitting out the gum shield as well. Look, we know Geisler's tired, but we also know he's doing everything he can to avoid anything happening in this fight. I think Geisler had a really good chance early on, but unfortunately I think Dario is just way too fresh and way too determined to win this fight. The corner was shouting at the referee about why is a point being taken, but to me it's very clear you can't grab your opponent like that. Final moments. And both fighters nearly fall through the ring. And that is it, folks. The end of the fight. Dario Socci against Geisler AP. Italy against Indonesia. Who's going to take home the WBC Asia Silver Middleweight title? We're going to find out very soon with our MC. Don't go anywhere. We have one more fight after this.
Fire in every place. set free. This is the place where you wanna be. Lights flash colors seen in a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards. The judges scored at 77-75, 77-75, 77-75. A unanimous decision to the red corner from Italy, Dario Socci. Big hand please also for his opponent from Indonesia, DT trained AP Geisler.
Le cucine che sta carcerata, che portano ammasciata a chi che porta ammasciata, a chi le achillate. E ci penso quando dovremmo arrivare. Un frate, cucini cicci. Alla fine a mente non fa tutto giro, tu giuro, me ci sparate la sua. Ma poi tutti sti mortali in team. Boh, frate.